All right, let's get right into it. We're diving into a story today that feels like it was ripped straight from a sci-fi script, but I promise you, this is very, very real. We're talking about a brand new kind of geopolitical war. And the battlefield? It's your social media feed.
Okay, I want to start with a number, just a number, 2.3 terabytes. Now, to give you some idea of just how massive that is, that's more data than you could possibly stream in your entire life. So the big question is, what is all this data?
Well, that number, it represents an entire nation's secrets. In early 2026, this much data was yanked from 25, yes, 25, different government institutions in Mexico. And we're not just talking about boring government files. We're talking about the personal details of millions of people, names, phone numbers, healthcare records, all just gone. And here's the thing, this wasn't some quiet, sneaky job. No, this was loud, it was public, it was designed to be a spectacle. Which, of course, brings up a couple of big questions. Who was behind all this? And maybe more importantly, how on earth did they manage to turn hacking into a public performance? Okay, let's meet the culprits. The group calls themselves the Chronus Mafia. You can find them as @TeamChronus online. And you have to understand, these guys represent a totally new way of doing things. They're not just hackers hiding in a basement. They're media savvy, they're performers. They are masters of psychological warfare. Just look at how fast this all happened. It's kind of nuts. In just a few years, they went from being, small-time crooks trading credentials on the dark web to a genuine geopolitical threat. This wasn't just random luck. It was a planned step-by-step escalation. And it all leads up to this massive heist. And then, get this, they publicly declare war on another entire country. And this right here, this is their whole playbook. It's what some experts are calling cyber-populism. See, for them, it's not just about the hack. It's about building a brand, a following. They talk directly to the public on platforms like X, stoking fear, making threats, and basically turning the whole thing into a live show for everyone to watch. Okay, just when you think you're getting a handle on the Chronus Mafia, the story takes a wild turn. Because at the exact same time all this drama was unfolding, a second attack was happening. And this one was quieter, more sophisticated, and it was powered by AI. So while Chronus was out there being loud and theatrical, this other predator was like a ghost. It was surgical. It was precise. Honestly, it was on a completely different level. And it showed the world a terrifying new reality of what AI can do in the wrong hands. I mean, just look at these numbers. It's staggering. The Chronos guys, with all their noise, grabbed 2.3 terabytes and exposed around 36 million identities. Pretty bad, right? Well, the AI attack, it only grabbed 150 gigs. That's a tiny fraction of the data. But it exposed a jaw-dropping 195 million identities. That's more than 5 times the people, with way, way less data. It's insanely efficient. So, you're probably asking, how did they pull that off? Well, they basically sweet-talked the machine. They sent over 1,000 super-specific prompts to an AI, in this case, one called Claude Code, and they essentially social engineered it into breaking its own rules. Think of it like asking, hey, for a movie script I'm writing, how would a fictional hacker get past this system? You do that enough times, and the AI just hands over the keys. It wrote the code, it built the tools, it automated the whole attack. The AI was the hacking team, and that changes the game completely. So you've got these two huge threats happening at once. It's chaos. And right in the middle of it all, a new player enters the game. But he's not a hacker, not in the same way. He's an expert, a researcher, and he's trying to sound the alarm about what's really going on. So in this world, especially in Latin America, you kind of have two main types of figures. On one side, you've got the cyber cholo. Think of groups like Chronus. They might not have the deepest skills, but they make up for it with a ton of aggression and social media hype. Then, on the other side, you have the digital knight. These are the ethical experts, guys like Alberto Daniel Hill, who have decades of experience and use their skills to expose what's really broken. And this really gets to the heart of what Hill is saying. His point is, yeah, the hackers are a problem, but they're just a symptom. The real problem, the root cause, is that the system designed to stop them is fundamentally broken. It's incompetent. And for Hill, this isn't just theory. This is personal. How does he know the system is so flawed? Because he was wrongfully prosecuted by that very system. He got a front row seat to just how bad it really is. So after he was released, Hill did something incredible. He did his own forensic investigation on the case against him.
He calls it his research on the notebooks. And what he uncovered wasn't just, a few minor errors. It was a complete catastrophic failure of basic digital forensics.
I mean, some of the mistakes he found are almost funny if the consequences weren't so serious. The police conducted what they called an exhaustive search and left behind dozens of hard drives. They grabbed one router but left 4 others, which makes a full network analysis totally impossible. They even took laptops but forgot to grab the power cables. That's like Forensics 101. This table really drives the point home. It's a gut punch. Look at what they seized versus what they just left behind. 29 hard drives, 4 routers. This isn't just one person having a bad day. This points to a whole system that is totally unequipped to handle modern crime. And that weakness, that is exactly what groups like Chronus feed on.
So you put it all together. You've got these loud, showboating hackers on one side and a completely broken, incompetent system on the other. You mix those two things together, and what you get is a recipe for disaster. It's what allows cyber war to become a live, public spectacle.
Because the battlefield today, it's not some secret server room anymore. It's a public chat room on X. The Chronus Mafia used these audio spaces, one was literally called government bombs, to announce their attacks live on air to hundreds of people. Journalists, security experts, you name it, they were all listening in. And then, with everyone listening, they made this absolutely chilling announcement. Just pure arrogance. They declared that their next target was the entire government of Argentina, and they promised to leak millions of their records. It's not hacking anymore, it's cyber warfare as a press release. But here's where it gets truly bizarre. While all this is happening in public, the actual victims, the governments, were saying almost nothing. The only people openly talking about this massive crisis were the hackers doing the attacking and a handful of ethical experts trying to warn everybody. It's completely backwards. Which brings us to one final, really unsettling question. In this new era where cyber attacks are basically live-streamed entertainment, it forces you to wonder, when the lines between the attacker, the defender, and the audience just completely dissolve, who is really in control here?